Hello everyone, this is the part 2 and here we can learn about the table formatting function, or this is also connect to our database. Suppose you're creating a database, right? If you are not performing any action on it like create, edit, delete or read, so it's baseless, right? So you have to insert some values. So basically here I am just writing those query under the methods. Okay, so let's get started. I'm using namespace over here to avoid the same name problem. Okay, it's like a nickname. Under this namespace, I'm creating a class which is called schools, and under this class, I'm creating a variable called con and it's private. Okay, then I'm creating also variable called table. I give it a name called school. Okay, what is a school? In this previous video, I was told you that I am creating a database in my MySQL. Okay, which is I'm not showing you in that video, and under those database I am creating a table called school. Okay, I will show you. Wait a second. This name is school swan. Okay, my database name is school. Here my database name was school my, I guess. Yes, under this I'm creating a table. You can see school. It is my admin portion or SQL portion. Okay, I just show you. 1 second. The structure portion. It is my table structure. ID. I mentioned it here. ID, school image. Okay, it is my table and it's my database. So under this database I'm creating a table. These two are connect each other. So you can see this table name is school, and I in this previous video the database name was school my. So I think you have clarity. After that I'm creating variable called ID with and another variable called school name and another variable called school image, which is similar to my database table columns also. Okay, column name also. So okay, then here I am using public function called constructor, and it's different like other method. It basically call itself. Okay, under this I'm using $db. I'm passing those variable, and under this I am $this means this current object. Okay, under this $this I'm holding the con private variable to show, and under this I am adding $db. This db basically connect our, just let me show you, create.php folder, this. Okay, so after that I am using another public function called read. It basically read my all SQL queries. This method, the basically work is to read all of those table data. Let me show you. If I am entering or inserting any data under the ID, school name or image, this will read all of those data because I am using star over here and it is a SQL command or SQL query. So I am writing it like that. Select star from this table. This table means my table's school. Okay, then after that I am contained this variable data under the prepare method. This prepare method is basically used to bind parameter or like any kind of placeholder. So I am just think it like that. I am writing a query, then I am just preparing those under the prepare method, then I am executing those queries. Okay, so execute, prepare, those are built-in function. Then I am simply return this variable. Okay, after that I am using another function, another public function called read one. This is a very important. Okay, it's only read the ID, which is auto increment. So just let me show you this portion. Okay, it only read this. So then I am using $id over here. Then I am preparing a query, same type of query, just I am using here another SQL command called where, because I am selecting data from this table, and where the table data is the under the ID. The ID equals to the ID value. Where the ID is under the ID value, but the ID value I am not giving here the ID value. I am just giving here the placeholder name for safety purpose, and I am setting a limit called 0, 10. 0, 10 means 0 means the 0 number index, and 10 not 10, 1. 1 means the only one value. Okay, then I am simply put this query under the prepare portion. Then I am using another I can say method called bind parameter or bind param. It basically bind those parameter. Okay, like it convert this placeholder to our ID actual value. It very safest, because if I am using it like this, my code will be safer. Okay, then I am execute this. Then I am return it like a fetch ASO. So what is fetch ASO? It is basically a associative array which is under the PDO class. Okay, so fetch ASO basically it present data like ID means key value, then its value like 1, then name its value like Swanti, then any other things. Okay, so it's fetch those values. Then after that I am creating another function called create. Under that create I am writing a query, because see, this is a read, it read all the data. This is the read one, it only read the ID portion over here, and this is a create, it's I want to create that data, I want to insert data. So I am writing a query called insert into, where I am inserting those data, I am inserting those data under the table. Okay, so this table I am concatenate all of those. Okay, then those are placeholder, or I can say those are not placeholder, those are columns name, like school name, school image, and then I'm putting the value, the school name value or the school image value. So I am using the colon over here because those are like using like a placeholder. Okay, and those are accessing or access in the bind parameter in here. Okay, so this query I'm simply hold on this query under the prepare portion, then bind, I'm using bind parameter, and then I am getting the actual value of those, then simply I execute, return those execute portion. Okay, then after that I am also creating a public function called update. So if suppose you are inserting a data like you creating ID 1 Swati Ghosh and her mobile number, you see the mobile number, you inserting a wrong mobile number, so you have to update those things. So I am using this query, the query name is update. Then I am inserting where I want to update those table which is called school properly, basically. Then after that I am set what I want to set. I want to set the school name, the value over here, the school column name, the value, the school column name, the school image, the value of school image. And how I set all of those things, how it is possible? It's possible to fetching the ID or through the ID, because the ID I am setting, the ID value is a primary key, and the primary key is never it's a unique basically, and it's not collapse with other datas. It's have some uniqueness, so it will be more reliable to using those changes through the ID. Okay, so after that I am prepared. Under this prepare I am holding the query function, then I am simply use bind parameter, all of those, then return. After that I am creating another function called delete. Okay, so suppose I am inserting some extra data which is not necessary or not needed, so I have to delete, otherwise it create mess. Okay, so I have to delete, so that's why I am using another comment called delete from this table which is called swan. And this also I want to delete all of these also using ID only, because it's unique and it's a primary key. Okay, those query are hold on the prepare portion, then just simply I'm doing the bind parameter, then I simply execute this, and all of those execute portion I am returning, because somehow in the other page it will hold those values and work on that. Okay,